Okay, so this next drawing might take a little bit more explanation because during this drawing there were 3 switches. So right now I was drawing this. So this is Nin starting to draw here with Kyle looking over my shoulder, right? I wasn't happy with the drawing I'd already done. I wanted to do more of a full body view, I suppose. That's why you can see me sketching out body features and shapes because I'm cis female. That's why it's starting off looking the way it is. I'm just using the same kind of brush I was before, very wide, very sketchy. I'm just trying to get shapes, and it was around this time I started feeling very dissociated. By the time we move on to start drawing the face, I had switched out. This, I believe, was partially Kyle, and then he switched out to a new alter. That hasn't picked a name yet. This alter is the one that recently split off. I believe he's stuck between the names Callum and Connor. He didn't come with a name, he's been searching for a name. So he is male, and yeah, you can see him crossing out the body shape of no female body, none of that please. And I haven't seen him very clearly yet in sort of my mind's eye or in the inner world or anything like that, but I do know that he has brown hair. I now know from this drawing of himself that he has curly brown hair. Also, interestingly, Connor was a name that Chloe really liked as a child, and she used to incorporate into stories a lot for some reason. I think it's the double N with the O's either side, the symmetry of it, I think I liked. But it's interesting that he would choose a name similar to that, or potentially choose that name because it was familiar to and reassuring to us when we were younger, or to Chloe when she was younger. So as of about now, there's been another switch. You can see that there are now lines, gaps in between the outline of this person. Still looking relatively masculine, right? First thing they've gone to do is high cheekbones, or sunken cheekbones, I suppose, and very dark eyes. And a lot of this sketchy sort of void-like, I'm not even really sure how to describe it. It's almost like how dissociation feels. And this style is very, very, very loose. They haven't changed the brush. They've used a really wide and thin brush, which is not the kind of brush that personally I would choose to do when doing details like the face, like they're doing right now. Now, the person who's drawing this, you can see that they're using a lot of black. The person that is drawing this is a persecutor alter. We've not introduced this alter on the channel before. I don't think that they will ever be on the channel. I am not comfortable with them being on the channel, and I don't think that they have any particular interest in being part of it. This alter is a persecutor called Dark, and he is one of the first alters that I knew about, or that Chloe knew about. When I first was told about having DID, my awareness of my alters was very limited, and I didn't really see faces or anything like that at the start. Well, I did, but I didn't connect that with the DID. It's complicated and confusing, but Dark, I named Dark as a nickname, and he took that because I guess it fits, but I saw him as just just sort of a dark shadow, not even a shadow of a person, just sort of like a mist, a black kind of swirling mist. And this mist would tell me things that aren't very pleasant, like, you know, you're horrible, you deserve to die, you deserve everything bad that's ever happened to you, you're disgusting, you're a horrible human. It was just very angry and obviously hurting a lot. Interesting to see how he's drawing himself and all this sort of sketchy shapes, and it almost looks like broken glass kind of effect, and crosses, noughts and crosses. The sort of very prominent eyes and not really being able to see much else. So he is black, not black as in the race, but that the color black, everything is black, and I've never been able to get a solid view of what his face looks like. It's always just either, when I was Nina, the shadow outline of a human body, or as Chloe, just sort of a black swirling mist. So it's interesting to have this representation of how he sees himself. It does seem to line up with sort of an incorporeal body image of this feeling of being shattered or crossed out. There's a lot of sketchy kind of crosses and like dashed lines and these sort of broken squares and triangle shards. I guess that would be representative of the way that he feels. I'm not going to try and put words in his mouth, but clouds. So you can see the difference between the three styles so far. Mine was very, very basic, but clear. You could see what I was trying to do. You can see that I was just trying to get down my facial features, and that's about it. And I would have been a lot more intense with detailing and things like that if I was doing a full piece.